All right, guys, what's up? I think we're live. Let me change up the lower third really quickly, just because we know now FPPL leagues are full. What's up, Chris? How are you, man? Anybody watch the game this afternoon? Hey, Jordan, how are you, man? Let's do this. Corey, what's up? Paradox, what's up? Christoph. Dude, there's so many Chris's in here. It's throwing me off. But like honestly, like there's been a lot of Chris's that I've known just throughout my life in general. Yeah, I can't imagine it's easy for players to like travel to Europe and play a back-to-back. So I'm not taking the game with I should say I'm not taking it at like face value, if that makes sense. When I cry, I have JJ and Jack Hughes. I wouldn't be too worried, man. Like it's like I said, a lot of it is just a difficult circumstance to put players in. Just in general. Cause like you're there, it's like a media event. It's like you're not it's like the first legit NHL game of the season. It probably feels more like a preseason game, to be honest with you. Yeah, Joe Cousins did look really good. That's something we took a note of. Mike noticed that as well. I thought he was very, very like poised on the power play. The Sabres are kind of getting worked at 5-on-5. So I mean, oops. Here we go. Turkey got an assist. Yeah, it was actually a good assist too. Using Brad looked great. A lot of points are coming from that top line. Yeah, like really, really good indication that really good indication that Meyer and Brad should have strong seasons is the fact that they kept all three of those guys together. Markstrom also looked fantastic. How does going overseas affect you? I think early season compared to teams that don't. So Chris, I remember last season, like when the Islanders did it, or was it 2 seasons ago? They complained that like they didn't get enough time to like recover from the jet lag, and like the season started off like just so quick. So I think the NHL like last season, like when the Leafs played Sweden, like Willie just looked amazing. It could be tough. Like I haven't done a lot of traveling to Europe transparently. Like I've gone cross country. I just went to Seattle recently. And even then, like it felt weird with like the jet lag because it felt like I was just operating 3 hours in advance. And so like I'd be wired at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I'd look at the time and it's like it's 3 o'clock. I need to go to bed. So, and I can't imagine like playing hockey at like the highest level and like your first game, you're probably just like the Sabres especially looked exhausted. But yeah, guys, if you have any questions, like feel free. What's up, Dr. Doom? How's everybody feeling with their teams? I might like touch on a couple different topics But this is pretty much just like a little kind of Q&A. There wasn't a video that came out today, so I wanted to give you guys at least some content. Transparently, Mike and I have just been like slammed with all this content coming up for you guys, that we decided to just take a little break. Yeah, Henry, that's what I meant. 3 hours behind, 3 hours ahead. But like, it felt like I was operating 3 hours ahead because I was still on like Eastern time, is what I was saying. Right? So it'd be like 3 o'clock when in my head it's like 6 a.m. Yeah, and again, like I don't know how I feel about looking into that game too much. Like Cousins looked good. Paterka looked really slow. Like just in general, like very sluggish. But again, a lot of the Sabres did, so. Yeah, we just took the Friday. We're gonna try and hammer out some content for the weekend potentially, and maybe into next week. Just because you guys have been killing it with the support lately, so I just like transparently like thank you guys for being so active and engaging, and especially in Discord as well too. Like Discord's popping off right now. If you guys aren't in Discord, the link should be in the description. Let me show you guys my teams. That's what I'll do. I will go ahead and show you guys my teams that I'm in this league, because I've officially drafted in everyone. So starting things off, this is my $100 buy-in Bangers Pims league. See the categories are there: goals, assists, power play points, shots, face-offs, hits, blocks. This is a categories league. I won the league last year, so if my team looks, it's also a keeper. I won the league last year, like $800 profit pretty much, because there's 12 guys, $100 buy-in. So this is what I have going into the season. My keepers were Braden Point, Brady Tkachuk, Kucherov, and Austin Matthews. Ended up deciding to keep Point over Forsberg. Control zoom so you guys can see. Actually, I should probably just make this display capture a little bit bigger, and I can kind of get smaller here. How's that? Better? Hagel worries me. I don't know if I should try to trade him now or wait and see. Joe, I wouldn't trade him. Like, transparently, I'm not super worried about the fact that he's not on power play 1, because he wasn't at all last year and he still ended with like 70 points. But if it turns out that the lineup is Gensel, Point, Kucherov as the top line, and they just run that thing the entire season, then I think that brings down Hagel's value a little bit. Biggest defenseman breakout of the year this year's Dobson. I think it's tough for defensemen to make such a massive jump in production. Like, you either have to have a fantastic season, or like literally everybody around you is going to have to, like, you know, pop off, and you're just like the conduit of it essentially. I think my biggest breakout defenseman is going to be Jake Sanderson. We've talked about him a lot this year. I just think like Ottawa is just going to be better on the power play, and he's going to be the power play 1 guy, and he's going to eat a ton of minutes. There's no more, like, there's really no more competition on the left side. Like, he's clearly outplayed Shabbat. He's clearly, like, he doesn't have any power play 1 competition for the defense spot. Chikrin's no longer there, so he's just going to continue to eat minutes. I think you could see a circumstance where it's like a younger, like, rookie or somebody has a really good season and like takes a power play 1 spot. Like Brant Clark could be a great example. Super high on him. Apologies, guys. I'm still just getting over something. Like, my team, only thing was I took Caulfield end of round 7 and tried to sneak Boldy on the turn, but he got taken. How much of a blunder was it? I don't think it's a blunder, Jordan. I would have definitely preferred Boldy, just because he's number 1, he's like much safer in terms of his production. Like, he's going to get you 30 plus goals, 35 probably at this point. So for me, like, I just think like he's safer in terms of his production. What's happening? Would you go for Jack Hughes or another player in the team? What do you mean, Kristoff? What do you think of Hannafin now that Shea seems to have power play 1? I was never big on Hannafin in general. I like I've drafted him in a couple of my teams. I'll show you guys. I can actually go to probably some FPPL stuff. This is my Div 2 East team. Like, I've got to him in a couple drafts, but I almost always look to Theodore first. Just because there's never been an indication of anybody challenging him for that power play 1. It's not even like a power play 1 either. It's like they split. Like, we just call it power play 1 because, like, Eichel's on that power play. I think it's going to be Montour again. Dr. Doom, I don't like Montour. Like, it's different with him being in the environment in Florida than it would be being in the environment of Seattle, because Seattle just doesn't have that many offensive weapons. So, like, Montour himself would have to go insane. Would you go for Jack Hughes or another player in the team? Jack Hughes is the best player on his team. So Uyghur coming in hot, and I was power play going to be at least league average. I mean, I hope so. I got to McTavish a lot. Caulfield was 34th in one of my league. I was a bit shocked. Yeah, people seem to be really high on him. Like, the shot volume's kind of insane, so I can understand why, but he was going a little bit earlier than I anticipated. You could see Harley taking it from Heiskanen. That would be interesting. Heiskanen's just so solidified. Love Sanderson, but I'm in a salary cap league, so I prefer Morrissey. Yeah, Morrissey is getting taken before Sanderson 100% of the time. Is Wool starting job in jeopardy? I don't think so, chicken. Like, Stolarz has had a good preseason, but again, it's preseason. So you could have a circumstance where it's like your UPL, and you just get lit up game 1, and now all of a sudden people are freaking out. It's like, oh, is Levi back in the play? Oh, is, like, UPL going to struggle this year? Like, it's like the only time I really start to panic about players is if we're like 15, 20 games in and I've just seen the same thing. Right? Because then at that point, it's like I have a sample size where I'm like, okay, like, we're essentially like a quarter of the way through the season. I have a good indication of what role this player's playing, what his output is like. You know, like, does he get power play time? So it's like at that point, then I could understand a little bit of panic. Thoughts on Pospisil this year? Took him as my last bangers pick. If you're in a bangers league, like, he's a great pick. Really good, strong later half of the draft pick. Like, he does have some, like, upside as well. He's like a Dakota Joshua, but I think I like him more just because I think he's going to play higher up in the lineup. McTavish is nice, but his left wing styles got taken. Yeah, again, it's just in the past, like, he's been moved around a lot, so I'd be confident that he gets it back this year. Any feedback on my team? 12 team points, 1-0G, and my league only has 3 defensemen. Makar, EP40, J-Rob, Tage. Like, if your league only has 3 defensemen and you have Makar, you're already at such a large advantage. And you got EP, J-Rob, Tage, Barkov, and Dougie. Your team's disgusting. I don't even need to read the rest of it. Like, your team's gross. Favorite question. I have 2 spots. Need a D and a forward. Please give me choices of Rodriguez, Raquel, Dubois, Braden Shen, Barbashev, Mangiapane, Neighbors. I like Raquel. I'm keeping an eye on him. He might end up being like a premier waiver pickup situation. Definitely not Erod. Pierre-Luc Dubois was line 1, power play 1. Braden Shen's like line 2, power play 2, so probably not him. Barbashev, I'm not huge on this year. Mangiapane, same thing. I like Neighbors, though. I'd probably say Neighbors to start Tigers. Just because I know he's going to be line 1 with Kyrou and Thomas. I'm a Carr, Fox, Heiskanen in a 12-team points league. Worth trading to improve another position. I think if you have my Carr, you can probably move Fox and try and get another elite forward. Thoughts on Connor Ingram? I don't know. Like, genuinely, I don't know. Like, I think Vejmelka could easily... I think he could, like, have a little bounce back. Leo Carlson or Dylan Gunther? I have Gunther, but someone proposed to trade. I'm taking Gunther just because the shot volume. Like, Leo's looked really good in preseason, I won't lie. He's probably, like, going to be a breakout candidate for me this year. It's just the peripherals. It's like... You're getting like a 55, 60-point player that shoots like 120 times and doesn't give you hits or blocks. So it's like, yeah, he's going to break out for more points, but is he worth rostering? I don't know yet. It'd be Truba, Nurse, Fowler, Shabbat, Hronik, Dursey, Falk, York. I'd grab Falk, Tigers. It's going to be power play 1. Gives you good peripherals. Yossi Bouchard. There they go. Yossi Bouchard should have Riley Faber, Theodore Byram as decor 12-man. Draw Byram for Boquist. How many positions do you have? Like, how many D do you need? You can probably drop Byram for, like, a forward. Took both Shursty and Saros in my 5-point for the win. Blah, 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 blah. Overtime. I cooked, right? 5 for win. 0.25 for save. -2 for goals against. 1.5 for OT loss. Yeah, I think that's fine. Depends on where you took them, J71. Am I being paranoid thinking Stamkos' draft position is a bit too high? New team with a lot. He's been falling in a lot of drafts, Paradox. I've seen a lot of the lineup in Nashville being Forsberg, O'Reilly, Nyquist, and then Stammer, Novak, and Marchessault. And I think out of those two lines, I think it benefits Philip Forsberg the most. We'll see what happens with Stammer if they decide to play him at center, if they decide to keep him at wing. I think I wouldn't draft him as ADP, probably anywhere beyond that. Should I trade to bring out for Boldy? It's a full cat 10-man league. I think the scoring is safer if you're going for that. But DeBrincat probably hits a little bit more than Boldy. Jack Hughes worth the risk not playing full season? Or would you rather Braden Point, Matthew Tkachuk, or Nylander? Matthew Tkachuk is by far the safest pick there. Jack Hughes has by far the most upside. So it depends on what you want to do, Tyson. I took Jack Hughes over Matthew Tkachuk in one league this year. And then the other league, I took Matthew Tkachuk over... Like, this is my FPPL draft. I took Matthew Tkachuk over Jack Hughes. Think Kucherov is going to have a down year? Nope. Yeah, he just got Jake Gensel. You could argue he's going to have an even better year. What settings do you use? I'm struggling to make goalies equal to skaters. If you look at our FPPL settings, I can show you right now, actually. There you go. This is what we use. Do you think Kucherov... Yeah, I should not. Thanks for appreciate all the content. No, I appreciate you, Jordan. Thank you for the support, man. Any chance Tomas Hertl will have dual position soon? I don't know, Amar. I don't know where they plan on playing him. I think he's going to stick at center for a bit, though. Do you want Boquist or Clark as a D4? I think Clark. I think Clark's going to give you more peripherals. Like, I think the Florida power play will be better. It's honestly, Mikey, it's a coin flip. Like, we don't know yet. That's the point, right? It's close. I think I'm leaning Clark just because I believe he's more, like, offensively talented than Boquist is. Thoughts on Hayton in a 14... Line 1, PP1 feels like a huge sleeper. It's not the first time I've heard his name mentioned. He looks kind of mid at first glance. 178 shots, 83 hits. That's pretty good, actually. If he gets a bump in minutes, he could be good. Definitely somebody to keep an eye on. In a 14-team league, I would do it. What's the best stats for Cats League if you've only ever played in a points league? I play in one Cats League, and it's my favorite league. we count basically every stats. It's a deep league, so 3 at each position, 4D, 2 goalie, 4 bench, IR, 3 IR plus. And goals, assists, PIMs, power play points, shots, faceoffs, hits, blocks, wins, goals against, save percentage, saves. Most competitive league I play in. It is the most fun. It's a 3-year contract keeper league. I love it. It's basically like the league I care about the most. 5 defensemen? Yeah, totally. You can probably draw by from them. 6 net in Carolina this year. I think it's Freddie's to lose. How do I feel about Quick as a third tender? I wouldn't know. Unless you're in a categories league. Do you prefer Falk or Hannafin? Falk, because he'll be power play 1. Drop Jersey to pick up Clark? Yes, do that. Rough season from Otter last year. At what point do you feel like he's sliding from an elite status in fantasy? I know he was bad last year. But I think if you look at the rest of his stats, he's been above a 910 his entire career. He played 60 starts last season with a 920 and 37 wins. He's elite. I'm not worried about it. Just a down year. It happens. Was the FPBL scoring format? When it comes to points, yes. Markstrom or Kemper for G2? Markstrom, not close. Is FPBL scoring format your favorite? I just answered that. 17-team bangers league, and I have 13. Who is better, Yossi or Breadman? Yossi. Yossi's a stud. He won me my $100 bangers league last year. He's so good. I think JT Miller gets triple position eligibility. I don't think it really matters if he gets triple. If he has double, he's already at a significant advantage. I know he's had triple in the past, though. Traded Mate for Celebrini. I think I might have cooked. I like Mishkov over Celebrini. I'm not worried about the Torts. I'm not worried about the Torts thing at all. There's gonna be times throughout the year where there will be like growing pains where he sits, and everybody's gonna freak out about it. And I'm just gonna laugh when he puts up like 65 points and 30 goals. Especially if he plays online with like Tippett and Frost. Like that could be a really nasty line. I think 60 points is within reach for Olofsson. I don't think 60 points is within reach, but he could score like 25, 30 goals. He's just not an assist guy. Like, this is a guy that's like was a healthy scratch at times last year. People should not sleep on DeBrusque. I like him. What's Carter-Gautier's point potential this year? I had 12 shot. Dude, everybody's talking about this 12 shot night that he had, and then he followed it up last night, I think, where he had 1 shot, 1 goal. It's hard to get a gauge on rookies. I think, you know, if he absolutely pops off, I'd say his ceiling is like 60. People don't like Power because of his peripherals, but he had a few blocks and hit. You think he keeps that up? It's 1 game, Leafs, man. Like, I genuinely don't know. Historically, based off of what we've seen out of him, my immediate answer is no. He had 115 blocks last year, though, but like if you're drafting somebody for blocks, there's like 150 other defensemen I'd rather have. Like, he would need to jump to be a 50-point defenseman. And his shot volume would need to jump. Tippett or Caulfield, goals, assists, power, plus minus, power play points, shots, hits. If you count hits, it's Tippett. Darlene over Fox? Yes. Where's my name? Actually, you guys know who I am. You don't need to worry about my name. Jack Quinn, time to drop. Logan, it's been 1 game, brother. They're playing in a European country where they had to fly in and deal with all this jet lag. It's been 1 game. If you guys are dropping players after 1 bad performance, I don't know what to tell you. Drop Turtle, pick up Cutter Gauthier. 12-man points league. I think it depends on your positioning there, Amar. If you need a winger, it's fine. Oh, you got Mate for Celebrini? Okay, Kristoff, then yes. Love it. Would you rather have Wyatt Johnson or Caulfield? So here's the thing. We're high on Caulfield and we're high on Wyatt this year. Could either of them score 40 goals? Yes. Who has the better shot volume is Caulfield. The thing that I think sets Wyatt apart is the fact that he, like, did you watch the video I just put out? Tyson? Like, literally, players headed to the moon. Where do I talk about Wyatt at 10 8 10 9. Go watch that portion of the video. There is a reason why Wyatt is going before Caulfield in drafts, though. Like, he could score 40. He's talented enough to do it. Do you ever consider light days? In our stream schedule, yes. Goche goes as Carlson goes, IMO. Best player in Anaheim starting this year. I don't know if he's the best. But he should have a good year if, like you said, if Leo does well. Is Cam York a lock for Power Play 1? It's been Drysdale on Power Play 1. We've known that for a while now. York has much better peripherals, though. Should I pick up Dostal, or is he too hostile? Jordan, if you play in like a points league, he's gonna get a ton of volume with Gibson being out. Points league includes plus minus. Would you take Teravainen or Hurdle? Hurdle, probably. In a 12-team head-to-head points bangers league, 2-person keeper. I won last season, but I'm juggling the idea of tanking this season. Trying to sell off the farm to be competitive. Myron, I'm assuming your keeps were Yossi Hughes. Outside of like Caulfield, Batherson, Dougie, Jones, your team's looking a little bit rough, so probably just see how it goes. Like, see if you get a good trade for some players and some picks for next year, you don't necessarily have to like make the conscious decision to tank right away. Just play the waiver wire. That power play looks really bad for Buffalo. I think the coach will give it a go another game. Leafs, it's been one game, man. It's been one game. You don't need to read into it too much. It's fine. Like, it's not going to be perfect every year. Love the work, man. Keep it up. Thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate you, man. Went Konechny over Verhaeghe in the 7th round of a points league. High goal assist upside. Think I made a mistake? I like Verhaeghe a little bit better. I think he scores more. He did have a pretty bad year last year. Or not like up to his standard. I mean, 34 goals, 72 points, 250 shots. He's touched 40 before. I think the only circumstance... It's close. I think Verhaeghe simply... He's got dual eligibility. He plays on Florida. The power play is significantly better, so I'm taking Verhaeghe. What do you think of Theodore? He's power play 1, Andy. Hannafin's power play 2. Tage or Stu? Tage. More goal upside, more shot volume. Should I take Fantilli or my Tavish in a league? I just goal and assist. I like Fantilli. People are comparing him to a young Barkov. That's pretty outlandish, Chris. I don't know if he's that good defensively, to be honest with you. He reminds me more, like, Leo Carlson reminds me more of, like, a Joe Thornton. Just a big playmaker. Brady could chuck over Tage / Larkin without hits? Like, both, or one, like, over, like, Tage and Larkin or Tage and then Larkin? I'd say Brady's very safe, even without hits. Like his shot volume's kind of insane. Drop all Sabres, yeah, dude. Please, if you're in FPPL, if you're in the Creators League and you're watching this video, please drop Tage Thompson, Darlene. Go ahead, do it, please. I'll pick him up immediately. Boldy or Timo? I want to say Timo Meyer, just because of the shot volume and the hit volume. Really high on Timo this year. What kind of season can we expect from Calgary? I don't think they're going to be like a bottom 5 team, but I don't think they're going to be good. Rate my brothers and my Ds. Huh? 14-team Bangers League. Yossi, Darlene, Hedman, Sider, Uyghur, McAvoy, Dobson, Hamilton, Carlson, Ekblad. The Yossi, Darlene, Hedman, Sider, Uyghur is significantly better. Ashton, you got cooked, brother. Apologies. Rate my first 9 picks. League values hits and blocks heavily. Mac, Pedersen, Yossi, Connor, Thompson, Zib, Sider, Boldy, Uyghur. It's a strong start. It's good work out of you, Callum. Tippett or Suzuki? Tippett. Grant Clark's point ceiling this year. That's a great question, Deuce. If he stays on power play 1 the whole year, I think he can be like Luke Hughes and put up 50 points. He was a point-a-game player in the AHL last year as a defenseman. I don't think you guys understand how freakishly talented this guy is offensively. I'm so excited to watch him play hockey, dude. He's ripped it up at every single league, and the Kings just haven't given him a chance, and now they're forced to. I promise you right now, I'm putting a hole through my monitor if they decided to put Jordan Spence on power play 1 instead of him. I will lose it. There is no reason for them to do that. It's just ignorance at this point. Yalla or Boldy? Boldy. Got Marchand in the 15th round, 10-man points league. Yeah. Like, Andy, I've been seeing him drop a lot. The biggest thing with Marchand, and I talked about it in my avoid video, it's not the fact that he's coming off of 3 surgeries. Like, that's a huge issue in and of itself. He's going to be 36. His point per game average has significantly dropped in the last 3 years. Shot volume, his goal totals are, he'll get you 30 goals. I just like, it's like you're drafting a 65-point player at the age of 36. If I knew he was going to play with Pasta the whole year, it'd be a little bit different. But I think the surgery's kind of scared me a little bit off as well. He just doesn't have a ton of upside anymore. Not saying he's going to be bad. I think round 15 is a great pick. No, it's only one. I know it's only game 1 in a different arena, but what are your thoughts on the first game of the season? Today's Buffalo, New Jersey. Devils are very fast. I love how it was Hughes, Meyer, Bratt the entire game. Cousins looked good. Most of the Sabres looked kind of slow and sluggish. I'm not reading into that too much. Markstrom looked unbelievable. Those are my thoughts. Drafting tonight, picking 5th, thinking Pasta. Thoughts? Pasta or Draisaitl? Or Kucherov? Whichever one comes to you. I think a first-round pick plus a 5th with Russ. Decent trade for Hughes. 12-team, 2-person keeper bangers. I would not give up a first-round pick for Quinn Hughes in a bangers league. Fox or Darlene points only. I still think Darlene. Fox is very consistently above 70 points. So in that case, if it's points only, it's probably Fox. 12-team Cats. Reinhardt, Suzuki, Hintz, Pedersen, Fiala, Jarvis, Paterka, Fox, Dobson, Falk, Uyghur, McCann, Markstrom, Ball, Clark, Fantilli, Lane. 6. So you went who first with your first round? Reinhardt or Patterson? Because either of those guys should not have gone in the first round. Are we excited about any San Jose players? I'm excited to watch Will Smith. Jake Wallman would be the only other one. Other than that, not really. Maybe Zetterland if he continues to hit. I know Don drafted him in the Creators League. It's just such a typical Don pick. 44 points, 200 shots, 120 hits, 71 blocks. That's pretty good. You should get a ton of minutes this year, too. Not bad, actually, maybe. In, like, deeper leagues especially. Crosby's viability with the Pens being so bad, I wouldn't be worried about Crosby. I think you'll see him above a point a game as this year. I just don't know if he's touching 95 or 90. I worry for Clark not being on the first line for the Kings, to be honest. Why? Got Fiala in the 10th round of a 12-man points league. Good value, great value. What's your opinion on Will Smith? Disgusting player. Super excited to watch him play this year. Just not sure how good he's going to be in fantasy. Guys, I'm going to grab a drink quick. I'll be right back. Throat's killing me. Brat or Boldy? Tough. I want to say Boldy still, I believe. It's close, though. Are we concerned about Weir's power play 1 longevity? How Calgary signed Barrie to a 1 year? Yes. We'll see what happens, but I would find it hard to believe they just kick him off. But, I mean, the only reason why Barrie would be there is to be a power play quarterback. And if they felt they didn't have one or weren't confident in, like, Rasmus Anderson. Kempe or Boldy? If Boldy played with Kaprizov 5-on-5, I'd be all in on him. I agree, Tyson. I think Kempe in that situation. He just gives you more in terms of peripherals. Actually, he's like a 70-point player, right? He's got some good goal upside. Last year was sucked. But I mean, 250 shots, which is roughly the same as what Boldy does. 40 goals, 35, 40 goals, which is exactly the same as what Boldy's done up until this point. And then you add triple-digit hits. I think it's Kempe, unfortunately. Do you still like Nietzsche's this year, despite being lined to? Yes. The fact that he's back on power play 1, like, I'm not worried about it. I think he could be like a 65, 70-point player. Markstrom looked absolutely insane. Yep. Why he was in a video this year. What do I do if I have defense problems? I have Uyghur, Dunn, Shea, Pionk. I messed up. Skate, I would, I just pay attention to the waiver wire. Guys like Brant Clark, like if Spence ends up being the power play 1 in LA, there will be a hole through my monitor, but at the same time, like, you go and you pick that guy up. Like, there's going to be somebody that emerges that just becomes absolutely insane. Like, what we saw last year with, Brock Faber. So just keep an eye on the waiver wire. Watch the videos. We'll keep you guys up to date. Do we know if Grubauer or Decord is going to get the starting level starts? I think they're going to split, Arthur. Like, Decord was significantly better, but they are paying Grubauer $6 million. You're right. I think they're just going to end up splitting. Jenner hurt. What is happening? Sorry. Think Eric Gustafsson will get power play 1. Nope. Cider. They had him there last practice or game, I believe. I'm saying Cider so that I speak it into existence, hopefully. I don't know at this point, Myron, to be honest with you. It could be Gustafsson. I did see Sider was there last time. 18 points league ESPN, 9 Fords, 5D, Cooch, Jack Hughes, Meyer, Pratt, Marner, Barkov, Boldy, Keller, Susel, Hintz, you cooked. Should I drop Hagel and add Theodore or Ghost? No. No, I think you're good. Maybe you could drop Hannafin for Theodore or Ghost. It'd probably be Ghost first, to be honest with you. How's his peripherals? Pretty mid. But I mean, playing under 20 minutes. Yeah, maybe it's Theodore. I'm still of the mindset of I'm taking Theodore before I'm taking Hannafin. But I mean, up to you, Peter. It's close. Like, it's not like one is significantly better than the other. Who's a realistic trade target? I want to move Panarin, Bangers, 12 team, 4 keepers. Do you want a package Leafs or do you want like a 1-for-1? What's your D looking like? Think any Canes prospects can crack the lineup this year? Probably not. As soon as what's his name from Russia comes over, he's going to be an absolute stud. Nikitin. But in terms of this upcoming season, no. Stankoven slowly getting closer to I'm going to reach on him territory. I don't know if I would ever reach on him young. I want to see how many minutes he gets, because if he's getting like 17 minutes... If he's getting 17 minutes a night, then I want everything to do with him. But if he's getting like under 15, then I'm probably a little bit off of him. He does seem to hit and block a ton, which I love. The problem is he's also only center eligible, so it's tough to get to him. Just because there's so many good deep centers that you can get like late in the draft. What are your thoughts on pair 3 D-men, but on power play 1, Bangers League, streamers, or hold? I think if they have power play 1, they still have upside. Like Brant Clark could be an example. Like I'm still drafting Brant Clark. In that circumstance, I'm holding. You buying the Genther hype? Yes. All over Genther this year. Thanks, man. Feel a lot better. I ended up grabbing Jeek over Carlson. Big Jeek fan. Yeah, that's fine. Skate. Are any trades necessary right now or just wait to sell high? I'd wait like probably like 10 games to see what you have first. Thoughts on Byram? I really like him. I hate that he's on Buffalo. Because like he should be a power play 1 defenseman. Like he should be an elite defenseman. He's just stuck behind Dahlin. Just like how he was stuck behind Makar. So I fear he's just going to get lost in the weeds a little bit. 12-man points league. My draft from yesterday. Mac, Yossi, Marner, Morrissey, Tage, Brad, Konechny, Boldy, Faber, Fiala. It's a solid team. Michael, it's a solid team. I fear you took Morrissey too early, and I fear you took Faber too early. Good Fiala. Fiala pick Kane. I'm assuming like I don't know if this is exactly like the round in which you took them, but Yossi, Morrissey, Faber, Falk. It's actually a solid decor, so I disregard what I just said. 16 team Cats. Holy categories. Cooch, Forsberg, Skinner, Ovi, Svach, Carlson. Yeah, you did a good job of targeting guys with hits. ED, so I'd be confident. Felt you went way too hits heavy. No, not in a categories league. And those are guys that are going to be valuable that you can trade for later. Like the guy, like Bennett does a little bit of everything. Svech does a little bit of everything. Ovi does a little bit of everything. Falk does a little bit of everything. It's not like you're just grabbing guys like Lozon into like Gudis into like, but even in categories leagues, like those guys are studs. Like they just win you that category. Seelobs is projected to start in Vancouver with Demko hurt, right? Yes. I don't think it'll be Lankinen, to be honest with you. Drysdale has been on power play 1. Greg. OEL going to take over the number 1 power play this year. I'll die on this hill. That's fine. Like there's just wait. It could be Ekblad, or sorry, not OEL. Riley. I don't see OEL being the power play 1 guy. All Cats bangers rather have Fantilli or Velarde. Velarde gives you dual position eligibility, but I like Fantilli more. Velarde probably has a little bit more upside just because who he plays with. I do believe in the Fantilli breakout. On tour favorite or John Carlson? John Carlson. Not close. Who do I think would take the majority of the starts in Minnesota this season? I don't know, Paradox. Like, I'm just as confused. Like, are they running 3 goalies? Wallstead hasn't been sent down yet. How many is Fleury playing? How many can Fleury play? There's just a lot of questions there. I think I should trade for a better D, having Yossi, having Falk Clark. No, you're good, Louis. Stu back to 90 points. I could see it. Yeah, I'm bullish on him. Thanks for your advice. Would your opinion change between Hanifin and Theodore if you consider points? It's 0.5 for block in our league, 0.1 for hit, 0.1 for shot. No, I think the scoring of Theodore probably outweighs Hanifin in that regard. Really shallow, but waiver wire, but drop Ukko-Pekka after today and pick up Hudson or Clark. No, I would sit put, Ryan. You should not panic after 1 game. 12-man league, do you like running 5D? Yes. You always want to have somebody to sub into a D spot. 16 team, all points Cats. Snake. 1 util. Crosby, Petty, Markstrom, Stammer. So does that mean you went like Crosby or Pettersson with your first pick at a 16 team? I guess you're probably handcuffed to getting Pettersson and then you went into Crosby. Zook, I don't like. Stone, I don't like. McCann, I'm not huge on. Sharon Govich, I don't like. Hall, I guess. Nelson's a good pick. Your goaltending is very weak. Byram looked phenomenal today. Yeah. Yeah, he's good. When he plays, like, he passes the eye test. He's good in terms of, like, fantasy scoring and formatting. It's just, like, if he was power play 1, he'd be a stud. I've been on him the past 2 years, and then he goes to Buffalo, and it's like he's stuck, essentially, behind Dahlin again. Drouin, the quietest first line, number 1 power play out there, points league. Yeah, he's solid. Uyghur or Sider, Bangers points league. I think Sider has more upside, so I'd go Sider. What are some good streamers for this upcoming week for Bangers Leagues? Pick up a Devil or a Saber for tomorrow. Capitalize on the fact that they're on a back-to-back. Could be a goalie, could be a defenseman, forward, whatever you want. And then we'll have a weekly preview coming out when the rest of the week kind of kicks off. You like Dunn or Shea better this year? And, like, something tells me that Vince Dunn could be like, the Montour Dunn thing is so complex to me. Like, they could both kind of go off because, like, the power play isn't really... I don't think the power play is, like, a crazy big indication of their production. Like, only like, 16 power play points for Dunn that one season. But, like, he was the power play 1 guy, and they kind of split their power plays. His production's been really good, though. And, like, Montour obviously has, like, some good shot volume. But, like, look, like, this is Florida's power play, and they had 17 power play points. Like, the year before, he had 33. I don't know. So, Is it Shea then? If he's a little bit safer, I definitely think he's a little bit safer, but I like Dunn's upside still. I didn't get to any Seattle guys this year, if I'm honest. After how many matchups do you know if you should buy or sell at the deadline? I'd wait till about like halfway through the year to see who you have, Habs. Ben Sherratt, there you go, Matthew. Ryan's got you in the chat there. Prediction on Hagel's points, 70. Should be pretty safe for 70. I think Keller has top 50 upside in a standard league. In a standard league, it counts plus minus. I think he's gonna be like a Brat this year, where he scores 30, gets like it. Like I'm expecting this season out of him. Like I'm expecting over a point a game, 35 goal season with like 230 shots. I don't know if that answers your question. Another good year for Dobson? Yes, I'd be confident, Mike. I don't know if he'll hit 70 again, but he could be like a 50, 60 point defenseman. I'm also very curious to see how he does this year. I think Hyman will repeat. I'm not as confident that he'll get the goal total that he had, but I mean, if he's playing with McDavid the whole year, like anybody could do that. He's just very good at what he does as like a net front. I don't like his point upside either. What do you prefer, head-to-head weekly points league or Cats league? Just curious. I prefer categories league. I think you can get more creative with like the way that you build your teams. Whereas a points league, you're just drafting guys that are like, yeah, like it's just based off the format pretty much. We're in like categories leagues, like I could build a team that's like super heavy with like blocks and hits and shots, and then still like manage to win weeks because of the way I built my team. The question we're all curious about: how will Sam's team do this season? Crosby will be solid. Yusha will be good. Damn, he had a good game. Stammer will be solid. Ovia, I think, will be good. Pass is fine. Kane's got to be healthy. Montour, I don't know. Letang, he's good. He's solid. He's like a D2. Rasmus Anderson, I don't like. Pareko, I like. Zook, I'm not a huge fan of. Malkin, solid. Go Chase, fine. Byram, again, we'll see. Zaka, I guess if he's line one, power play one. Panarin, Marchand, I think he'll be okay. It seems like a middle of the pack team to me. Should make playoffs. Jersey or Sergachev on first power play? Sergachev. Ziplikov's crazy KHL numbers. Yeah, he also shot like 30% that year. Do you think Hughes is power play one when he's back? Luke Hughes, I'm assuming what you're saying, Leafs creator. I think it depends on how it's going with Dougie. Like if the power play is absolutely lights out, then I think no, like he won't be. But if it's like run of the mill, like I think they give him a look. Do you watch the Amazon series? No, I'm actually gonna sit down with my brother and my dad and watch it tonight, Michael. So I'm looking forward to that. Boone Jenner missing opener now. Yeah, he's injured. I'm super excited to watch it, Michael. Thoughts on goalies? I have Georgiev, Kochekov, and Freddie and Samsonov. You're fine, Eon. Noonan is available. I wouldn't grab a Noonan unless like Georgiev's volume really falls off. Like having 4 goalies on 2 teams is like kind of meh, because then you're just pretty much taking up 2 roster spots. I think you can probably drop Samsonov though. Yossi Dahlin, Uyghur Matheson, Seth Jones, and McDonough. Is there a way to improve my D? Yeah, drop McDonough. What? You must count blocks then, Thunder. I'd look at like a guy like Pareko. You want to pick up both goalies in a points league? split time setup would you grab, Utah or Seattle? I like Utah a lot this year. I don't know what it is. I think they're going to be very good. So Dunn over Shea? Yeah, I would for right now, Skate. Alex Lafreniere getting slept on because he's the lesser known Lafreniere. Sure. What are your thoughts on Dougie this year? I love him. Happy with that Markstrom performance? Of course, Ham. Like this is why he's in a video, dude. Guy's a stud. Devils are gonna be a wagon this year. 10-team league, Draisaitl, Yossi, Dolly, Marner, Sider, Meyer. My goalies are garbage. Do I trade anyone? No, Nick. You should be fine. Like you can find like good goaltenders on like waivers. Like you'll be okay. Rather have Cam York or Ghost? Ghost. Ingram or Decord in a Cats league? Probably Decord. Yes. Although I am very worried about him. Like, the sample is so small. You should review all the D2 East teams. I already did, Ham. I'm actually, no, you know what? I didn't. That'll take me a while, though. I want to get through some questions. Do you think the Swayman situation will go down the wire before Wednesday? I think he signs. I think he misses a couple games, but I think he signs. Like, as soon as Boston starts, like, losing because fucking... Sorry, excuse my language. Because... Lankinen just, not Lankinen, what am I saying? Corpusalo just gets lit up, then, like, I think they panic and they just come and they pay him. Any advice for ESPN Points League with your daily roster change? Would you try to add drop goalies? Depends on your league settings, Peter. Streaming is always a good option, though. Having a D issue, should I be patient and wait for the waiver wire, make a trade right away? I would just, again, guys, if you drafted and you're not confident in your team, just sit. Wait, see what you have. Who knows? Like you could find a guy that has a really hot start, and then you just sell high on him. Thoughts on Spence versus Bratt for Kings Power Play 1? I'm all in on Brant Clark. How do I like my team in the Creators League? I'm actually really confident. Probably means it's bad. So I had pick 2. I went McKinnon first. And then I grabbed J-Rob into Quinn Hughes. Got Wyatt, Connor, Sergachev, Keller, Paterka, Sanderson, Harley, Lindholm, Byfield. And then I snagged Bennett as a waiver wire claim because of the utility spot, and I have a lot of dual eligibility centers, or not a lot, but I have Wyatt as a dual eligibility center. And then Lekin and Line A stashes, and then Wall, Kochekov, Swayman. So I'm happy, Jordan. It's always curious to hear what other creators think, though. Like I was rewatching it was Nate from Apples and Genos, who won the league last year, and he was like kind of slamming some of my picks, being like these are bad picks compared to the projections that he had. So it's always curious to see like what the actual case is at the end of the day, but I'm confident in my team. I really like it. Spotter Wallman. Drop Hagel / McTavish for Velarde and or Raquel Bangers Leagues. Wallman, probably Shabbat over Wallman to start. If you're jammed at center, you could drop McTavish for Velarde because he has dual eligibility. I'd probably go Velarde over McTavish. Thoughts on Kemper this year? Love him. Love him. I think LA solid enough defensively, even without Doughty. How's my D? Bouchard, Darlene, Carlson, Harley in a 10-man league. That's great. Austin, you're chilling. What to use for maximizing schedule? So we put out a weekly schedule every single week, Darian. So look forward to that, where we go over like the best add drop options. Best pick at 8. It's tough this year. You're either if I'm at 8, I'm either going Kale McCarr, getting my elite defenseman out of the way, and then hammering forwards for a little bit. Or if McCarr's gone at 7, I'm taking Rantanen. It's pretty easy. What are your thoughts on Jason Robinson? Love him. Should be solid. McCarr, Yossi, Crosby, Tage, Zib, blah, 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 blah. Again, there's Slav, Boldy, 12-man. Who should I drop for extra D? Nobody. You're good. You're solid. I would not drop anybody. Good team. Thoughts on Ingram? I think he splits. Time. Also taking Nick Robertson 4th overall. Good pick. What do I think of Ehlers? I think it could be good. I want to see him on power play 1 for once, though. And until that happens, we'll see. Goalies are Ingram, Vmelka, and Seelovs. I think if you're in a categories league, you're fine. Isn't it smart to make trades before the season starts? So guys like Gensel are a buy low right now before he goes off in Tampa. Yes, but you also don't know like what you're trading away, Skate. So it's like if I look at this team and I'm like, I really want Jake Gensel for whatever reason, right? And I'm like, okay, like, buddy, who do you want for Jake Gensel? He's like, I really want Wyatt Johnson. I'm super high on him this year. And then I make that trade, and then Gensel gets injured 2 weeks into the season and screws me. Then that's tough. You know? Stamkos, Kyle Connor, or Keller? Points and shots, no hits. Kyle Connor. Yeah. One of the best parts of this time of hockey season is seeing all the new headshots or all the players slowly come out. Yeah, him. It's some of them are like actually funny too. Seeing people in like specific, like seeing Stamkos in like a Prez jersey is just wild. Should I pick up Ingram or Corpus Allen until that Swayman situation is dealt with? I would pick up Corpy. Got Brady Kachuk at 8. Points Bangers League. Did not expect that at all. That's a huge steal, Arthur. My FPPL defense is Makar, Werenski, Theo, and Wallman. Is it time to panic? I wouldn't be confident. Actually, you know, Makar, Werenski, Theo is fine. You probably need a 5th defenseman, though, Chris. I 100% win this league. I appreciate that, Lewis. I hope that's the case. What are the best and worst trade picks you've made in the past? Are you thinking about any trades before the start of the season? So again, Callum, it's hard to trade prior to the season because you'll get a situation where managers are like, I want to wait and see what I have before I trade it away. Because I think people are just genuinely more scared of making a mistake. Especially if you come to them with trades. In terms of people that I'm targeting, it's the same guys that we've been high on. Like, the only circumstance where I'm making a trade right now is if I know I'm outright winning the trade and it benefits my team. Like, a good example would be in a keeper league. Let me pull this up. So because I had 1 pick in the first 6 rounds, and then I drafted from the 6th round and beyond, obviously, like, my team on paper is not as strong as it could have been. So it's like I'm actively trying to, like, package guys together to, like, see what I can get. If there's any upgrades, can I like add depth to my team in any capacity, you know? And so it's like, again, like I'm high on guys like Fantilli, McTavish, Paterka, Gunther. I got to figure out which one I'm pronouncing it as. It's going to be like this the whole year. It's like in that circumstance, then I'm like, okay, I want to wait and see what these guys are before I make a decision on them. And at the same time, it's like I don't want to trade them away because they all 3 of those guys, 4 of those guys should be like 30 goal scorers in my mind, you know. So it's tough. The best and worst trade picks I've made, I ended up getting Braden Point for a 2nd round pick last year in a keeper league where he still had some like eligibility. I thought it was a good trade. There was also 1 year where I moved, I think it was Alexi Lafreniere and Carter Hart for Kyle Connor and Demko. That's like, it was like an all-time fleece for me. Like, it was stupid. Nugent Hopkins point projection. I think he's good for like 70, 75 points. When you think Doughty is back, I stashed him. He just had surgery. No clue. Month to month. I have Gustafson and Thompson as my other goalies at the moment. I get only 3 ads a week. Is it still worth to try and stream a goalie? If you get 3 ads at him, then yeah, I would probably try and stream a goalie. Get you good matchups. Here, Jack Campbell entered the player assistance program. I did. I hope the guy's okay. Yeah. Never want to see that. Like, even as rough as the performance he's had, and I'm sure like Oilers fans are still pissed about it, but you can't root against a guy like that, especially. You always gotta root for players. 14-man Cats hits and blocks. That was my D. Hedman, Sergachev, Werenski, Clark, and picked up Dylan this week. I think you're fine. Like, Hedman, Sergachev, Werenski should be solid. Thoughts on Ryan Hartman around 14. Really interesting because he's been playing a lot of line 1 with Kaprizov. So if that's the case and that sticks, then great. I just know in the past, they've done that for like the first couple weeks and then he ends up being a third line player and then he's just useless. So it's a good like kind of like lottery ticket. Your current favorite teams to watch this season? Well, I'm a Leafs fan. So the Leafs, even though it gives me torture. I'm excited to watch the Devils. I'm excited to watch Anaheim. I'm excited to watch the Sabres. Who else? Yeah, that's all I can think of. I think Utah will be interesting as well. It's like all the middle of the pack teams that I feel like could be good or could be really bad. I'm like excited to kind of see what happens. But Devils should be really fun to watch this year. Do I expect Corby to be somewhat decent behind the Bruins? Every goalie that's played for the Bruins has been good, so. But again, it's not like he's Allmark Swayman level caliber goaltender. So I'm obviously a little bit more hesitant on that. What are your thoughts on Buffalo after today's game? I'm not reading into it too much, Tucks. It's one game. They're playing in Europe. They're jet lagged. They got ran the entire period. They couldn't figure out anything 5-on-5. Like, I'm not looking into it too much. Is there a way to show you my Yahoo Prize League roster? Drafted it last night, $250. Just curious what your thoughts, if possible. Throw it into the Rate My Team channel, JDM, and I'll take a look in the Discord. I'll take a look. Let me know when it's in there. What do you thought? Is it better to run 5 defensemen or 4 defensemen? I like running 5D, Anthony. Especially if you get like your 5th defenseman's like a high upside player like a Brant Clark. Drysdale or York, points only. Drysdale. Who's likely to start power play 1? Gustafson or Boquist? Gustafson and Boquist play on 2 separate teams. I'm assuming you're asking like who's the most likely. I think Boquist as of right now. Just because I have recently seen Sider on power play 1. Coming out of preseason and line rushes. We've seen Sider power play 1. How does Kaprizov for Matthew Tkachuk and Mika Zibanejad sound? It's the Tkachuk Zib side by quite a bit. Jonathan Drouin or Genther? Michkov projection. I think he could hit 70 points. I'm excited for Michkov. Mike and I have a side bet on who gets more points this year, Cutter Gauthier or Michkov. My side is Michkov. His side's Cutter Gauthier. $20 is on the line. So I'm Team Michkov. I think he's nasty. Marner point prediction this year. I should be over 100 points. Could dip into like the 110. Knowing Marner in a contract here where the Leafs didn't give him an extension, he's going to put up 120 and he's going to walk to free agency. How do you feel about me offering Sousa for Gensel? I think that's not good. I'd prefer Timmy, honestly. He gets you triple-digit hits. Unless you don't count hits, in which case I think it's fine. Points League. I have Skinner, Sorokin. A couple more questions, guys. Like, my throat's kind of killing me. I'll go for, like, another, like, 10, 15 minutes. Try and get through the rest of these. Skinner, Sorokin, Lukanen, Binnington, Wall, Kucherov, Kemper available. Would you drop any mind for the available? I'd probably... Ooh. I like Wall, Kochekov more than I like UPL. I think your goaltending's fine, though. Like, I wouldn't... I wouldn't worry about it too much, Peter. I think you're just looking into it a little bit too much. Because Wall could end up splitting. Kochekov's gonna split. Kemper could be the starter, so he'd be really the only one. Unless, like... But Bennington's good. UPL's gonna be good. He's the only question mark right now for me. Expectations for Barzal. I think he'll be solid. If he continues to shoot the puck, he'll be a really good player because his power play point totals are really good. But if he gets you, like, over 200 shots... 80 points, like, that's a very solid player to have. Thoughts on Marchand? I think he's like a 60-point player, 65. At top 10, definitely fleece some guys in some trades. Yeah, that's insane. I need to run to work. Just want to say thanks, Chris. Hey, thank you for chilling, Chris. If you're still here, man, appreciate you being here. All things hockey. Thoughts on my FPPL decor? Hedman, Sergachev, Faber, Luke Hughes, Hronik. And should I drop Hronik for somebody like Sandheim, heavy hitter like Gudis? I think you're fine. Sandheim would be the guy that I dropped, though, maybe for Gudis. Game is about to tip off. Yeah, I want to go watch. Need help trading a top D-man, points league, top forward. I can give up Robo, EP40, Forsberg, Hughes, Tage, Hans, Stussel. Who should I target in the trade? Maybe try like maybe try like a Forsberg for like a Bouchard or like a Forsberg for like a Dahlin. Because I think he's probably the most volatile. Or maybe you try like a Hintz. Try and move Hintz first before any of those other forwards. See what you get. And see if you can get like one of those like tier 2 defensemen, like a Dobson or like a Hedman, Morrissey, something along those lines. All right, JDM, let me take a look. Let me pull it up. This is what, $250 buy-in? You're pick 5. Point, Honor, Heiskanen, and Dougie. Wow, you got Dougie round 6. Jarvis, Kochekov, Sergachev. I don't like the Lausanne pick. Unless it's a categories bangers league, in which case he should have went like 6 rounds ago. I would have taken Matheson over him in a heartbeat. Batherson's fine. JT's good late value. Corpy's good. Byfield's good. Doughty. Yeah. You'll have a good year. Your forwards are strong. Your D is solid enough to where you have like a Heiskanen and Dougie Sergachev. I'm probably taking McAvoy before Heiskanen. I'm definitely taking McAvoy before Heiskanen. But the fact you got Dougie down here, just kind of like you just flip those picks and it's fine. You'll have a good year. You'll have a good year. 5th. Oh, you're the 5th pick. Yeah, okay, yeah, the one that's highlighted. Thoughts on the new Yahoo app changes? It sucks. Hate Yahoo. Thoughts on adding Danton Heinen? He's line 1 power play 2. No, I would not add Danton Heinen. You got Mishkov Arthur? Love that. It's hard to find pass hits and blocks. What do you think of Mishkov and Celebrini in a bangers league? You're probably not finding hits and blocks out of either of them, but if anyone's going to hit or block more, it's probably Mishkov. Celebrini is actually a pretty good 2-way center, so like you could see some power or penalty kill time and get you a couple blocks. Odds of Ekblad getting power play 1, 33%. I remember watching these guys when they first started. Popped up on my hockey algorithm. Fellow GTA guy. Glad to see how much you guys have grown. Hockey's too underrated. Sub. Appreciate you, Marco. Appreciate, like, you're a little bit of an OG in that sense as well, too. So I love that. Love all my OGs. Lehkonen or Duran, who gets more points? I'd say, like, on a per game basis, probably Lehkonen, but Duran might finish with more just because, like, Lehkonen's injured. Lucas Raymond point projections. I want to say 70 points. I think he can get back to 70. If you were to bet money right now, is Marner walking to free agency or signing a $12 million extension? If I were to bet money right now, I think he's signing an extension. If the circumstance happens where he puts up 120 points, becomes the scapegoat in the playoffs again for like the 4th or 5th consecutive year, he's walking. He's gone. There's no reason for him to stay. And the fact that his agent, like, his agent is notorious for letting his players walk to free agency. So, I think as of right now, he signs. Like, if they put $12 million in front of him for next year, I think he signs the deal. Probably not, because he probably wants to play out his year, but thanks to you. Have a great day. Appreciate you, Alex. Thanks you for chilling. JDM, thank you for the $5, man. Appreciate you. I'd be very happy with that draft, man. Good luck this season. JT Marner Leaves have 20 plus million cap space. Yeah, that'd be crazy. Hopefully Random walks, then we can sign him, but how much does concentration of players in the East versus West factor into fantasy? It doesn't, Benoit. The only time where it's like external issues run into play is like if you have 3 or 4 guys from the same team. Because then it's like if that team gets shut out, then you have like 3 or 4 duds in your lineup. New to fantasy, Heiskanen for Marchand. Heiskanen, for sure. Honestly, I think Marner will take around 11 million. That'd be huge if he did. I can't see him taking less. Hey, Michael, how are you, man? My league has 2 utility spots. How would that change your draft strategy? I'd go a little bit heavier into center. I think it offers you more flexibility for taking some like better centers, just so that you're not like handcuffed. And because it's like such a deep position, I'd be looking at drafting like you can afford to reach on guys at center, because other people, like, typically if you don't have any utility spots, you're jammed with 2 centers. All right, guys, that'll probably do it for me. Been up over an hour here. Thank you guys so much for chilling. Hopefully I got to some questions. Hopefully I provided you guys some value. Again, apologies for no video today. Mike and I, again, just a little bit burnt out from all the research and developments and everything that's happening. So I'm going to go watch some preseason hockey. I'm going to have some dinner. I'm going to have a nice, chill little Friday night. Hopefully you guys do the same. Tony, I'll answer your question before I take off. Heischer, Kreider, Fiala, Marchessault, Dobson, Hedman, John Carlson, Shea, Kemper, Hill, McKinnon, Velarde, Bennett. That's a great team, man. I'd be happy, Tony. Huge shout out to you, Justin. Appreciate the love, man. Thoughts on trading a normal ESPN 8-team league? Demko for DeBrincat and Nurse. I'm taking DeBrincat and Nurse, and I'm running. Yeah, guys, before I take off, please hit the like button. That's a good shout. Boomtown, appreciate you. Really helps us kind of grow the channel, get more of our content out there. Honestly, like, motivates us more. There's 93 of you in here, 35 likes. Just leave a like before you take off. Appreciate you guys as always. Yeah, we'll have more updates coming soon. We'll have more videos coming soon, so stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Who should I keep in a keeper league? Got a Hyman, Jarvis, Heischer, Zib, Meyer. I'm keeping Meyer, and I'm keeping Hyman. Genther, Duchesne points league. I'm going with Dylan Gunther. All right, guys, that'll do it for me.